the idea that we're looking at here is that I think a lot of times, and this is kind of a blue belt class for you guys to think to help other students with, is I don't think people really have a strategy per se on either side. They're just kind of flailing, and they're not focusing on posture for number one in the guard. They're not focused on their posture here. And then when there's an opportunity to get out from underneath you, because everybody thinks, okay, swither seat or arm bar or whatever. Nobody thinks just get out from underneath them. I mean, if they're not having good posture. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is when you're able to break them down. So you can start with getting a hand on the head, breaking the elbow up, collapsing them down. Okay, so just like anything like that. Okay, now if they make the mistake of putting their arm onto keeping their arm on the inside. Okay, now what you want to start focusing on is just pull the arm across the belly, just like you would do an arm bar. So like you just start working, and then start shifting your hips out towards me. Okay, and you just basically here you got to secure the arm on the other side, keep them close, and now you just start moving your way out from underneath them until you get to you break that guard, you pull the leg up, and now if you can get back out all the way up, and you just either come out the side, okay, or you go straight to the back. Okay, so the major principle for this is just break them down, get them to cross center. Then that can be done with your Oompas or your heavy and all of that sort of stuff. But when you have a chance to break them down, start dragging them across center line and start to hook your hips out. Now, the other thing I think I've told you that really resonated with me and with Brian was just this idea, like so many of us, we get in the guard and we sit here and we're like 4 points of contact. We're sitting here, we got like 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of, okay? Just the idea that you quickly go like that, now you got 3 points of contact, and now when you're doing that, you're already kind of halfway out the side. So just concentrating on that, just that detail. And that's what I mean about no strategy, no posture per se. It's just kind of focusing on submission and all that instead of focusing on mobility. So I want you guys to just mess around lightly at like say 50% of posturing in guard. Try to sit up, grab them, break their hooks and their posts out, bring them down a little bit, and then start to drag one arm across the center or the other. And you can do that sometimes if the arms are by the side, so that's where like your lapels start to go for a choke. That's going to bring their arms back in. As soon as their arm comes in full, just make those little short adjustments. Just without getting close to you guys or touching or whatever, that's the explanation that I want you guys to do. So one person in guard, so let's say like 2 minutes, all you're working on is just kind of on the bottom in particular, you're working on trying to bring them down a little bit, get those posts out, and then start moving them across center line, and then you go out the opposite way. Make sense? Okay, so it's a warm-up drill basically, 2 minutes with each partner. Okay, on your basic scissor sweep, let's just emphasize the points for the other students in particular. So my method is usually to grab the elbow versus the gi sleeve because it's universal that way. Okay, so you get one hand on the back of the neck. Okay, all right, you shift across, drive your knee in, okay, up at an angle. You try to sit up a little bit, like really curl your way up, you pull them back on your hook, and then you turn them over, okay? And what I want you guys to do is, rather than going for the mount, which everybody wants to do, as soon as they're on their way over, you disengage and come up to side control, okay? So again, basic principles, isolate the elbow so they can't post, grab their head, and you don't want to drag them down, you just want to hook the best that you can, okay? Keep them from extending, big space, drive it in across at an angle, sit up a little bit first if you can, even if you can't, you think about that, you lay back, yeah, don't let your hook collapse though, just try to keep that heel and foot extended away, and turn, and chop, yep, and then disengage, like that. Now, that's super easy for all of you guys. Just go through it, emphasize the steps, and then let's see if we can figure out a way to go. You go to guard, scissor, sweep, you come up to side control. The idea, you go right on the other person's guard. They sweep you. You can see if we can get a little chain going. Okay? All right, let's go. Fundamental, and then when you, especially when you roll with other people, try to point some of these things out, especially and because they'll all chain together. You're trying to take it back. They sit up, scissor sweep in, they crush you, you do reverse sweep. So give people some pointers. Okay, so the reverse scissor sweep, or what I always call the reverse scissor sweep, usually it happens when you set your hook up. Okay, so you go to do your scissor sweep. Okay, and then they crush your hook down here like that. Now, usually what you're going to do is you yank that other arm, so you pull that other sleeve a little bit, pull them down close, sit up as much as you can, and hook their flat. Okay, and then you're going to turn and roll. You basically barrel roll. Okay, load them up on the hook, and then flip them down. And then the same thing is dismount. Okay, so change your angle. Okay, so again, you're going through your scissor sweep. Okay, usually they crush the hook with pressure. You yank that arm, sit up and cross, grab the lat, and then you barrel roll with a little bit of a pull, and then you just let them flip over the top. A little kick at the end. Okay, one last rep with heads this way. So keep your head straight. Okay? So again, he's working, basically trying to do your scissor sweep. Bring your hook in, crush your hook. Usually by crushing, they expose that, so you pull a little deeper, sit up. Okay, and then you roll sideways, but also pull backwards as you do it. That loads his weight up, and you've got to flip them off. That's easy to not fall into a mount or anything, so you stick it down. Okay? All right, so reverse scissor sweep in a chain, and then we're going to move back to standing. In your guard, stretch guard is basically push your hook in somewhere, pushing and pulling. Dennis, do this real quick. Okay, so you're in guard. Okay, one way or the other, the person stands up. You got control of the sleeves, your feet. Let's put feet onto the hips. Feet, break your guard, put your feet on his hips, so you're pushing and holding that tension. Okay, so let's think this leg goes to the inside. No, inside. And then comes around the outside, your foot goes into the hip. Okay, so we go here, that's the beginning of this attack. Okay, so the first one is going to be push-pull. So your right foot is going to come out. You can let the left hand go sometimes, but so your right foot comes out, it goes on the inside of his knee. So you push the foot away. Yeah, that's the push. And then as you make them stumble back a little bit, then you hook and you pull. So you hook with your right, you pull, and you push. Okay? And then usually you stand your way out. So it's the push-pull. Okay, so one more time, two more times. Okay, so you go here, you're working, you're going open. You've got feet on the hip. This one leads inside, just comes around, try to get your foot in the hip. Okay, push-pull is kind of a fast, like kick, pull, follow them out, and sit out. You do whatever you want. You can be in their guard. Okay, do the other side. So that leg leaves, just comes around, snakes around. Push, and then full push. There you go. Follow it out, and then you can instantly guard pass if you want to work on one of your guard passes. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go quick. So you guys go through. Exact same setup. Okay, it could be. So here, all that happens is instead of doing the push-pull, you take your right foot and you put it on, basically right next to your left foot, and then you push with both and chop. Okay. Now right there, Eric would turn towards Jody and take the Achilles, heel hook. So the legs come over and then take the heel hook. That's usually the one that you have. Okay, so. And then, and it's kind of go straight, he follows you, then take the leg. Heel hook's the one that's obviously there. You can try to struggle and get the snake around the ankle, but I think it's usually too difficult to get around. Okay. All right, does it make sense? So, all right, next one, last one, then you guys get a couple rounds.